How's it going, everyone? We'll just wait for a few more seconds to get settled in and for this informative and exciting interactive webinar. Also, in the time being, introduce yourself. By all means, what type of business do you have? Also, what are some of your strategies that you have implemented for 2023? And also how we can assist you, any topics or any areas of assistance that we can provide consulting for you. I also see some familiar faces, so nice seeing everyone once again. And also some general housekeeping items. This is a recorded webinar, so in case you have to step out, answer a phone, finish up cooking some dinner, by all means, we'll be able to email you the link from our Zoom channel, so that you're able to follow up afterwards. Also, all participants will be receiving the presentation as well. So like that, if there's any particular questions that you might have, by all means, I strongly encourage you to register under the Miami-Dade Business Navigator program. So like that, our business consultants, along with Rosalind, will be able to assist you within that question. So I'll go ahead and get started and talk about a brief description of what is the Miami-Dade Business Navigator program. The Miami-Dade Business Navigator program is funded through a cooperative agreement through the U.S. Small Business Administration. The program is comprised as a lead hub at the center of network of spokes. In this case, it is the Florida SBDC at FIU, working with a network of organizations that deploy community advocates to assist you, the small businesses, in the recovery and the resiliency of the pandemic. The focus is easy. It's placed on businesses owned by veterans, women-owned, as well as socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. Now, besides the Florida SBDC at FIU, we have 6 other organizations assisting you. As such, we have Ascendis, we have the EDC of South Miami-Dade, the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce, Prospera, and Startup FIU Procurement. Also, we have Luby Sumler from Branches, and she'll be able to talk more about Branches and how Branches can assist you as well.
Okay. Hi, everyone. As we know, Branches has a long and deep history of supporting communities in Miami-Dade. I will be your mentor, and of course, Steve Arman, he couldn't be with us tonight, is the director. We will provide the information, if you don't have it already, of mine through the chats. And he did want to, on behalf of Steve and Branches, we wanted to thank Jesus and also Rosalind. Thank you so much for doing this for us and setting this up.
Thank you, Luby.
You're welcome.
And then the overall focus is to create a local community navigator network to assist the socially economic disadvantaged businesses with consulting, mentoring, and training as such you're in today. Also, next slide. Also, some general housekeeping that also, if your business is located outside the Miami-Dade region, we'll be able to connect you with our local business partners. If your business is located in West Palm Beach or Palm Beach County, Broward County, Monroe, or outside the jurisdiction, I'll be more than happy to connect you with my respected colleagues to also assist you with those challenges and needs as well. Also, if there's any questions or concerns, perfect. Yes, Pedro, just send me an email. I'll put them in the chat so I could virtually connect you with my colleagues over at the Florida SBDC at Florida Gulf Coast University. If you have any questions during today's presentation, I'll be more than happy to moderate the questions on your behalf. Please put them in the Q&A. And then so that at the conclusion of the webinar, I'll be able to ask Rosalind your questions. So without further ado, allow me to introduce you to Rosalind Rice. She's our business consultant in the Florida SBDC at FIU under the Business Navigator program. And she'll be able to talk briefly about her previous experience and how to bring everything together for this exciting webinar. So thank you for attending, and Rosalind, the floor is yours.
Yes. Hi, everyone. It's so happy to be here with you this evening. First and foremost, I'm just like you. I am a business owner, so there is a lot of us that we can relate to one another. I have spent 25 years in retail at a corporate level. Some of that was in the buying office, some of that was on the vendor side. And so I have a lot of experience in selling widgets. Whatever the widget is that you have, that's where I have experience. But this is part 2 of what started last week as far as a growth strategy for your business. And I just first want to give space that entrepreneurship can feel so chaotic, but you're spending this time investing in yourself. And so congratulations on being on this journey. I know there's a lot of balls in the air, a lot of multitasking, but the leadership development, the developing of yourself is so critical. So we're so excited that you are here. So when you think about business, how many of us want to be successful? The majority of us would say that we want to be successful. I see, Rory, you raised your hand on that. Tonight, we're going to be talking about what are some of the effective measures of success. Yes, I love it. I love that engagement. Keep raising those hands because we want to be successful in business. And as a business owner, you have full autonomy to be able to decide what success looks like for your business. We all have different goals. So when we're talking about growth strategies, we use that word kind of very generically, but it looks different for all of us. Some of us are motivated by money. Some of us are motivated by a flexible schedule. Maybe you have loved ones or young children that you're caring for. Some of us want to work full-time in our business or part-time. We want to have that. Some of us want to have that $1 million business, and some of us, we just want to have a little extra money to pay for our kids' summer programs. So your level of success, it looks different for all of you. And I just want to normalize that for you. If you don't define what success is in your business, and we're going to walk through how you do that tonight, someone else will define it for you. You'll find the opportunity to just start looking at others people's success and wanting to imitate that. But you have a unique path for yourself. So tonight, as we talk about analyzing a business, it really is about what is the evidence that you can look at within your business to know that you are on a road of growth. So that's what we're going to be talking about. My son just recently started driving. God bless us all. And when he first started driving, he was just looking at really the dashboard. And if you look at the dashboard of a car, it tells you so many things. It measures so many things. It measures how fast you're going. It measures your fuel level. It measures where your battery is. And when that happens, you can get distracted by just looking at all of the different measurements that you have. Now, obviously, soon and quickly, he learned to look out the windshield because that allowed him to focus on getting to his destination. So 2 different approaches to business, but yet 2 different, very different results. Because you can imagine if you're driving distracted, what that will look like or what that will do to others that are on the road with you. As a business owner, you are the driver of your business. And many times we can, in our early phase of business, notice I said we, because I'm a business owner just like you, we can focus on the day-to-day. We can focus on the sales transactions. We love getting the notifications from Stripe or Square or PayPal, whatever our payment processing is, a Cash App, whatever it might be. We love being able to look to see that we've made a sale. Or maybe we just look at our bank account. We see money in our bank account and it's like, oh, I can go spend it, right? That's looking at the dashboard as I show you up here on the top. But as you move forward, it's so important for you to be able to analyze what is happening in your business so that you're not just focused on the small details of today, but you're able to cast a wider net and understand more holistically about your business. Because the 2 different approaches, whether you're looking at the dashboard of how much money is in the bank, or you're projecting out based on what has happened in the past, to look at where am I growing? Where do I need to pull back? it's going to lend you two very different results. So tonight we're going to talk about the evidence, right? That's what we're talking about. How do you measure this growth? The evidence is sales. You will also hear it referred to as revenue or even income. Okay, so sales is one of our growth indicators. Profit, what's left over after you pay all your bills. Customer growth, because we all want to have one more customer or a few more customers. And then how do you reduce your expenses? And this is very important because when you grow a business, you don't just have to grow top line sales. There might be a point in your business where you've grown so much and now you need to scale back on your expenses. Okay, so these are all the different indicators of how you can grow. So let's start with sales. Cash flow management is so important in your business. And when you think about if you're selling a product, or even if you have a restaurant, right, you're going to spend money before you ever intake money. I think about if you are doing skincare products or clothes or jewelry, you have to buy all the raw materials, make the product before you're even able to sell it. So you're shelling out money before you receive anything in. And so that cash flow management is so important. Retailers normally buy 6 to 8 weeks before they expect to sell their products. So when we think about Valentine's Day that's coming up, it's why you start to see Valentine's product kind of creeping in at the end of December and definitely into early January. Or you see Christmas product sometimes if you're in the Cracker Barrel retail store in July and you're like, oh my gosh, it's too early. Don't let me think about, Christmas. But it's because of the management of the flow of cash into the business. If you don't understand how cash is flowing in and out of your business, you can wind up in financial trouble. According to American Express, 60% of small business owners have a cash flow problem. I bet if I asked you to raise your hand, I am not going to ask you, you would say at some point in your business, you've had a cash flow issue. All of us, me included. All right. So I'm normalizing that. Look, you're going to raise your hand anyway. I hear you. Thank you for that honesty. Let's look at a way that you can look at what's flowing in and out of your business because it's so important. So net cash flow is a great indicator of what's flowing in and out. Total cash inflow minus what is outflowing. Super easy. What is flowing in minus what is flowing out. And I know many of you are saying, Rosalind, I got more flowing out than I got flowing in. But for the sake of this example, if you look at this example, $1,250 is flowing in. You've had those sales transactions. You did a vendor event at a pop-up somewhere this weekend, minus $750 expenses that are flowing out. So your net cash flow is positive. It's a great indicator of the financial health of your business. So the next thing that we're going to talk about, again, another indicator of your business is your profit. Profit is so important because you don't just want to have a cash hungry business. You want to have a business that actually has profit. In its simplest terms, profit is revenue minus expenses. That's what profit is. So if you look here, you will see this is how money flows in when we have a business. It comes in. It's at its largest part when we first get it in. Square hasn't taken their money and their processing fees, like it's just coming in to our account. But there are, when we look at profit, revenue minus expenses, there's 3 different types of profits that I want to talk about: gross profit, operating profit, and net profit. And you can see with each of these, our bag gets a little smaller and a little smaller and a little bit smaller. So profit is what is the bottom line? What is left over after you pay all of your bills? And normally this is in a percent. And for every dollar that you bring in, on average, anywhere from 12 to 20% is what is profit, and 20% is extremely good. So I just want you to know, after you get all these pieces chipping away, there's a little left, but it's okay. We're going to walk through how you look at this. So when you look at gross profit is most often analyzed in businesses because it shows what money is left over after you have paid for the goods or services that are sold. So gross profit is really showing how you are capable of making more money. This, when in my retail career, was the number one type of profit indicator that I would look at as a buyer. Normally, the other two, the operating, the net profit, the finance team would look at those. The gross profit was, which was most important to me as a buyer. So it's why, if you work with any of our consultants, you can really find a strategy to work specifically on the gross profit. You're in the right place. Our branches, our entire team is here to support you. So it takes out your cost of goods sold. And then operating profit is what's left over after you pay all of those operating costs. So when you think about your rent, your electricity, your phones, your social media, your website management, your softwares, even your staff, the operating profit takes into account all of those just very necessary operating expenses. So you see, it's getting a little bit smaller when you go to the operating expenses. The net profit, which is here, is what comes at the very last moment. And this what takes into consideration your taxes. Yes, it is important for you to pay your taxes. And here's a little side note. The fourth quarter sales tax is due to the Florida Department of Revenue by January 20th. So make sure you get that taken care of. So we'll talk about ways that you can reduce those expenses, but I just wanted you to see this evidence. So profit, revenue minus expenses, and then each of the bag gets a little smaller. Gross profit, operating, net profit. All right. So the next that we're going to talk about, again, another benchmark of if your business is growing, is customer growth. Now, we all want to have customers. It's very hard oftentimes to find all of the different customers. It's important. And it's most consultants that you're going to talk to is going to say, you have got to narrow down the customers that you are going after. Imagine if you have a lemonade stand. You have to figure out, am I going to be selling to children? Or am I going to be selling to runners that are running by and they're thirsty? The way you market to each of those different segment of customers is going to be completely different, right? So that's why you will often hear us talk about who is your target customer. This is where I get passionate because I talk to a lot of my business owners in regards to just marketing, coming up with your buyer personas. What are the needs of your customers? The sweet spot of a business is when there is a need and you with your products, your incredible services are able to fill that need. So to grow your customer, it first starts with understanding your customers. What are their needs? What are their goals? What are they trying to achieve? It's the first of the year. The target customer that you have, let's say it's someone who is a student in college, and the first of the year, they're just trying to make it through until the end of the semester. And so you're going to provide products that are just kind of quick, easy for them to be able to have, incredible convenience because they have a busy schedule. The way you market to someone who is in college versus someone who might be retired is going to be completely different. The way you send them email marketing, the way you sell, the way you show up on social media for them. So understanding your consumers is most important. But as we get excited about growing our customers, these people who are willing to buy our products and services, and this is after you've exhausted your family and friends, because I think everyone starts their business depending on their family and friends to buy their products. It's important for you to track your new customers. It's also important to track your existing customers, so the customers that are repeating and buying with you, as well as returning customers. And many times, if you have any of the most recent payment processing platforms, they will provide that information. Shopify, Square, they provide that information for you. And it just makes it easier. So when you're working with your consultant and you have access to those reports, you can jump on a Zoom with them and review some of those analytics that you have. Whether your customers are shopping online, as we see here, or they're actually coming into your retail store, or they're visiting you maybe at a farmer's market and you have a vendor booth, they are all priceless. Customers in 2023 are priceless for you. I'm actually going to be talking about vendor booths, doing a class on March 2nd at 1 p.m. The same way that you signed up for this class, you can sign up for that class. And it's going to be specifically about how to create compelling displays so that you're able to sell out of your product. But you want to build a strategy to be able to retain those customers, because it will cost 6 to 7 times more money to acquire a new customer than it is to retain a customer. Okay, so you will hear that customer acquisition versus retaining a customer. If you have a customer that you've already built trust with, you know how to market to them, you know what their needs are, you know what their fears are, you know what their goals are, and you're marketing to them in a very seamless, efficient way. They're going to want to rinse and repeat with you. And maybe you have a skin product and they have this body scrub and they just love it. It's almost like you can have it on autofill with them. They just come back time and time again. Those are the type of consumers that you want, because for you to go and acquire a new customer takes so much more effort, advertising dollars. So think about it in that way. That's why it's important for you to track your customers. One way that you can do this, have you ever gone to and you can raise your hands, the Bath and Body Works semi-annual sale that they have twice a year in June and December, and you, I see those hands going up, Dolores, you buy those products, most likely they will always give you a coupon and tell you about events or sales that are coming up or new fragrances that are being released after the semi-annual sale is over. Why do they do that? Because they want to retain you as a customer. They know that it's more expensive to go out and get new customers. And so how do they keep you coming back? They give you a discount so that you will return. If you go to CVS and you have extra care bucks, why do they say you get $8 off of $40? Because they want you to come back and spend time and time again. So one of the ways that you can track this is repeat customer rate. And here is the formula for that. And I know you think like, oh my gosh, here she's talking about formulas and math. That's okay. I just want you to have an understanding as a business owner, the leader in your business, what it means, repeat customer rate. This might be something in 2023 that you want to start tracking. So it's the number of return customers divided by the number of total customers. So I know many of us might not have a process or a CRM system to understand how many customers or clients that we have. But think about that as you move forward in your business. Remember, this is a journey. There's a final destination. There's going to be mile markers around along this journey. You're not going to do it all at once. But having a great system to understand who's new, who are you retaining, who are you losing, and we're going to talk about that. But this is the number of return customers divided by the number of total customers. And then you want to multiply that by 100, and that's how you get the percent. If not, you'll just end up with the decimal point. So let's say it's a month of sales, and you can choose the cadence in which you see that. 20, you got 20 new customers. You had a total of 50 customers. Got to plug myself in here. That is a 40% repeat customer rate. Now you might think, what does that number mean? Well, what's important when you're looking at data or when you're looking at analytics of your business, compare it to maybe what you did last month or compare it to what you did last quarter. Okay. So if that number is going down, we have a problem. You're not your customers aren't returning to you in a good rate, right? If that number is going down. So you want to always just not look at one number. You want to compare it to a similar time in history in your business. So maybe you compare month to month. What was my repeat customer rate in February versus January? Or if you've been in business longer than a year, what is it February 2023 versus February 2022? That's how you start looking at the history and compiling the history of your business. So there's many different ways for you to be able to retain those customers. And again, you can talk with one of our consultants. You can register on our website to get consulting to talk about what are some strategies that I can use to retain my customer base. Now, it is inevitable. I don't want to paint a rosy picture here that you're going to have customers who are unhappy. It's a part of business. You're also going to have customers that tell you no. Rejection is a part of business. It is very hard, but as a business owner, you have to get used to hearing no. Don't take it personal. It's just a part of being able to sell something. It might not fit their needs. It might not be the right time. Don't get discouraged. Maybe you got to know today. I'm speaking to you. Don't get discouraged. You keep on your grind. You keep doing the passion that you have in your heart. You have a team of consultants to support you. So you just keep going. But you're going to get that review. That's a 1-star review. Listen, I've had them, and it's hard. It just kind of puts the knife in your heart. But that's okay. You're gonna be okay. Address it whenever, especially if it's on Google and it's a bad review, just immediately address it, apologize that they had that experience and just move on. This is why a business has policies and procedures. Those policies and procedures, what is my return policy? What is my shipping policy? Those policies are there because you're teaching your clients and your customers how to do business with you. But when you have your policies and procedures in place, it really helps to avoid mitigating losing customers. So let's talk about this customer, right? He's just not happy. He's frustrated. He didn't have a great experience. Of course, he was not at any of our businesses, but he didn't have a great experience. So what is one indicator that we can look at that can show us evidence that we are losing customers? It is our churn rate. So there's a customer churn rate. How fast are you churning the customers out of the business? Obviously, that's not a number that you want to be high. But also a revenue churn rate. And I want to focus more on the revenue churn rate. I really think about the business where you're providing a service. Maybe you are even a product, but if you have a service-based business, let's say that you're cutting hair or you're in cosmetology, or you have where you're doing facials, you're an esthetician or anything of that nature. Think about if you don't have a process in place to retain that customer, you're not following up with them, you're not closing the sale properly. You think about, on average, that person was coming in and spending $80 a month with you. You've now lost that customer. So what impact is that on your business? That one customer that you lost, right? If they're spending on average about $80 with you because they're coming in and getting their massage, or they're coming in and getting their facial or their wax, whatever it might be, times 12 months, that's $960 out of your business. Now, listen, some customers you don't mind losing. Let's just be honest. And that's the autonomy you have as a business owner. But for the majority of our consumers, we want to keep them in the business. No one, and this is oftentimes many people will not look at this number, but it's important for you to see this is how you quantify the revenue you are losing when you haven't built a strategy to retain those consumers, those customers, those clients. Okay, so that is a revenue churn rate. The whole point of this, you want to minimize the impact of losing any customer in your business. All right, so the fourth one is reducing expenses. So remember, I talked about you don't just have to grow top line sales. If you reduce expenses, that will bring more profit into your business. So there are many different ways that we spend money in a business. There are variable costs, and they will fluctuate from month to month. And then there are fixed costs. Fixed cost is kind of the same costs that you have. Let's say you have an insurance policy because you have inventory in your home. Even if you're selling Mary Kay or Avon and you have that inventory in your home, it's not covered under your homeowner's policy. So you want to have a policy that covers all of that money that you've invested in that inventory. That price that you pay every month is what would be considered a fixed cost to the business. A variable cost could be, let's say you do some advertising, some Facebook ads, and every single month, depending on the cycle of your business, you're going to do a different amount. So if you're going into the fourth quarter and it's make or break for your business, and you have a retail business where you're actually selling a product, you're going to be spending more money versus when it's January and it's a little bit slower. So variable costs fluctuate, fixed costs stay the same. So when I think about variable costs, marketing, advertising, raw materials, different type of raw materials that you're buying, even fuel. Sometimes people will forget to think about fuel because it's something that we just need all the time. But if you have a food truck, if you are delivering products to consumers, that all is a cost to the business that you need to account for. So if you haven't accounted for it, that's where you might be coming up with a cash flow problem, because you don't have a real grasp on what are all the expenses to my business. Your inventory, your staff. So I want you to think about, in the first stages of your business, you want to be lean and scrappy. What does that mean? Try to live on the least amount in your business that you can. Really sit down and think, do I need an office? Can I work remotely? I had one of my clients that was able to cut her overhead expenses by 50% just by going remote and taking a virtual office where she just had an address. Lowering expenses in the business will keep cash in your business. Many times we focus just on the top line sales, but reducing expenses is like a gem. When you can do that, more cash stays in the business that you can invest, that you can pay yourself. If you don't know how to pay yourself, sign up for consulting. We know how to teach you to pay yourself in your business. It's one of the reasons why you are in business. So as we put this all together, as a business owner, you're the driver of the business. You get the autonomy to make decisions on cash flow management. You have indicators in your business that let you know if you're making money or you're losing money. Is your business in the black, like we showed the net positive cash flow, or is it in the red, where you're in negative balance? Obviously, cash flow and having a cash flow problem it happens, as I said, the statistic from American Express, 60% of people. So all businesses most likely will experience a cash flow problem. But as you move forward and analyze, use some of these measurements to be able to project where you need to tweak some of your other strategies, whether it's marketing, how much staff you have, or anything like that. So I really hope that was helpful. And I see Jesus pop back in.
Yeah, yes, and also Rosalind, also positioning, right? By having an effective messaging, by saying the right things about your product to the right people in a way that they understand. It enhances and personalizes the effective messaging and having those ideal target markets, right?
Yes. Absolutely. It is important that the way that you are communicating to your consumer, because when they're receiving your email, when they're looking at your reels, when they're looking at your social media, you want them to feel that you're only speaking to them. So you want to be as specific as you can when you are addressing them with your email marketing, even a text message to let them know what the latest campaign or the latest product that you're launching. You want them to feel that you are so in tune with the needs that they have, the pain points that they have. You're the solution for their problems.
And at the same time, it's, it's trial by error at the same time, obviously based on small businesses having limited funds. But by just getting consumer feedback, as how you said, the surveys, the Suki shoppers, perhaps you might find secondary target markets that could definitely buy from you.
Yes.
So like a perfect example, like Bath and Body Works, my wife loves Bath and Body Works. I'm not a fan of it because it flares up my sinuses. But definitely I become a subscriber, so like that we able to get more Bath and Body Works candles, discounts, even though I don't like it, but happy wife, happy life. So I definitely, they definitely have me as a customer on that side.
Yeah. Another example is if you're in, let's say, any type of the baby industry, whether it is toys, it could be baby clothes. Many people will just specifically target the parents, or especially when they're pregnant, they're just focusing their marketing on the parents. But did you know, industry research in the baby industry, 40% of baby items are brought by people who are not the actual parents of that child. So think about the person that's going to the gender reveal. Think about the grandma that's so excited that they're having another grandchild or their first grandchild. Think about the coworkers. Think about the aunties and the uncles. Those are the people that you also have to market to. So yes, there are subsets of your target audience that you need to market to. And that's why our consultants can really help you come up with a very effective strategy, whether it is your marketing strategy, whether you're in the brand development phase, all the phases we're able to assist.
And also don't worry, because obviously, like, finding those ideal clients based on the target market or the industry analysis, the competitive analysis, it's overwhelming. But at the same time, you have consultants on your side that can assist you.
Yes.
And it's no cost to you. So that's, that's one great, right? There's your competitive analysis right there, that you have someone on your team that's a subject matter expert that could definitely differentiate yourself in the marketplace.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All
So
right.
do we have any questions?
I do have some. Okay. If I don't have an actual product, it's more around providing an experience through services, coaching, speaking engagements. How can I grow in this business? The who, the what, the where, and the how.
Well, all right. Thank you for that question. Wow, that's a great question. So if you are in a service-based business, which I am a consultant, I'm in a service-based business. I'm also a speaker. So I absolutely understand that. There are performance measurements that you can build in your, into your business model. So one thing I like to look at, especially as a speaker, I have many different topics. And so I will just put those topics on a spreadsheet. I will then look at how many people attended whatever seminar, webinar, speaking engagement, how many people actually attended. Then I look at how many people actually booked services with me, because all throughout my speaking, I'm going to be soft selling my services. That's why you've constantly heard me say, don't worry, we have consultants here to help you. I'm soft selling my services to you. So I look at how many people did I convert into a client. It helps me with my lead generation. It helps me understand what topic is hitting with my consumers. So as a business owner, you have to take your mindset out of, let me just think about what I want the consumer to buy. What is the consumer telling you? That's why you always have to map back to your data and your analytics. If you're not looking at your numbers, if you don't know how many new customers you have, how many people are repeat customer, what the average price that they're spending with you, what items that they're buying, what are your best sellers, Houston, we have a problem, right? Because you're just kind of going on a whim. The way for you to be effective, that's kind of just kind of looking at a dashboard. That's where I talked about those two different approaches. You got to lift your head up, look at what the analytics are telling you. And then that's where you build in the rinsing and repeating. You're constantly putting something out, testing the strategy, and then looking at the results to see what you want to move forward with. I hope that answered that question.
Yes. And then obviously I'm just going to be pretty much like some of the questions that you could ask yourself based on the analysis of these issues is by addressing and answering these basic questions. How does the performance of my company compare to the industry norms?
Mm-hmm.
Do I know for certain my marketing efforts are being effective, and how?
Mm-hmm.
Is my company doing all it can to be consumer centric, and are my customers satisfied? So it's pretty much, these are some questions you could definitely do like a self-analysis after each season, or different phases, to see what's the return on investment, and follow those KPIs. It could be website, email campaigns, it could be touch points. It's the power of 10. Like, they might not buy from you today, but it's having that effective messaging, the soft touches along the journey. Eventually, you'll get them as clients.
Exactly. It's where you're nurturing your clientele. When you're on social media, I try to follow the 80-20, where 80% of the time I am just kind of giving information. Obviously, I'm a thought leader on social media. That's my brand. That's my positioning. I'm giving away information. And 20% of the time, I'm making a pitch to sell a product, right? You can't just 100% of the time be pitching to sell your product. You want to be able to have that sweet kind of balance, whether it's 80-20, 70-30, you can decide what it is. But the customer needs to feel that they're receiving something from you. That's a part of your nurturing. That's why some of you have your YouTube channels, you have your TikToks, because you're nurturing that clientele and you're growing the visibility. But I will say, you will have to say it 1,000,000 times before you're ever heard. What do I mean by that? You can spend the entire first year of your business literally educating people on what it is that you do. I guarantee you right now, and you raise your hand, like, be completely honest, I bet you have family members and friends that are asking you, what is it that you do? You've told them 100 times and they're still wondering. Now, what is it that you do? Repeat. You have to keep repeating to your consumers. You want to stay top of mind. The way you do that, have a strong email marketing strategy where you're sending them emails and talking about what's coming up in the business. If you're a speaker, talk about your upcoming events. If you're a coach, talk to them about, we're in the beginning of the year, whether it's wellness or some questions that they can ask themselves. You want to be giving something away so that you're nurturing that target audience that you have.
And where do you find industry benchmarks for metrics for your business? It could be from the U.S. Census Bureau. It could be within your local area. You could definitely do sample studies, like pedestrian foot traffic. If I want to open up an ice cream shop, how many ice cream shops are within Miami Beach area?
Yes.
At the same time, is that site selection feasible for your business needs? I want to open a childcare, but I'm in a 55 plus older community. It's apples to oranges. It does not comply. So these industry benchmarks and pretty much analysis, we have consultants that can work with you and find that idea sweet spot. Because some of these industry reports cost money. So the good thing about the SBDC is that we have those tools that can do it for you and with you, to have a full sweet spot of those target benchmarks.
Location is everything,
Yep.
especially if someone's looking to source a site. Also, you can go through a SWOT analysis. That is, what are the strengths of your business? Each of you have gifts, passion, talents. What are the strengths in your businesses? What are the weaknesses? We all have opportunities where we need to grow. Maybe we find like, oh gosh, the marketing is a pain point for me. Like, I feel like I am wasting time doing that. then that might be something that you need to outsource. What are the opportunities in your business? Like, what is on the horizon? What do you see in the future for your business? And then what are the threats to your business? It is important that you look at the threats. I know that we have one of our clients, and it's a very regulated business. Those are constant threats, because at any moment, depending on what Congress passes, it will change the architecture of his business. So those are constant threats. You have to be aware of that. Being a lifelong learner as a business owner is imperative. It's a shift of a mindset.
And that's the advantage of being a small business owner. Like, think of a small business owner, a small canoe, and you're pivoting and going where the market is. It's easier to do a 3-point turn as a cruise ship in a canal. So you're able to adjust quickly, and you're able to solidify more of a threshold of that marketplace. And then, Rosalind, I recently added HubSpot. Is this a good platform for gathering all contacts?
I love HubSpot. Yeah. HubSpot is good. They have great resources, great tools. Obviously, as a consultant with the Miami Business Navigator, there's many different programs that you can use, but HubSpot is a great one.
And then, how do you build your email base?
Oh, that's great. Oh, I love that question. Thank you for asking that question. That is a great question. Many times on your website, there will be as I call, a lead magnet that you can use. This is something, again, that you're giving it away. It could be, I love to use the words guide, a resource. When you go normally think about a mortgage website, they will have a tool where you can calculate a mortgage. Those are all lead magnets for you to be able to build your email list. Another thing that you can do, when I first started in my business, I would host free trainings, and I would bring in people that would bring in their audience. I would collaborate with other business consultants and experts that would bring in their audience. That's another way. If you have a coaching or consulting business, could you launch a cohort? Could you, when you do that, as you are giving stuff away, you're collecting those email addresses. They'll need to download the information that you're giving them. Maybe it's like 10 tips on how to blank, and you're posting it on social media. And for them to download it, you get their email. So that is how you build an email list. Maybe there is a free, I know a woman who has a hair, she sells hair products, and she has an entire ebook on how to wash natural hair. And I'm telling you, she's grown her list to over 1,000 people just by that one ebook. So you can write an ebook, you can put an article. There's so many different lead magnets, is what it's called, if you want to Google it, to bring emails into the business and build your list from there.
And then I have one right here. It's what about Acuity? I'm not sure. It's in the chat. Yeah.
That's a great program as well. That does great for like online scheduling. You're able to take appointments. You can also take payments. I've not personally used it, but my own consultant, yes, the consultant has a consultant, actually uses it for her scheduling.
And also a comment in the chat, like, you could also build your email database by adding emails of everyone that you meet at networking events as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. I would say when we talked about retaining the clients a few slides back, I know that someone asked the question, I'm a coach, I'm a consultant. When I booked with my consultant, there was a surprise and delight. So I booked a session, it was called Coffee and Consulting or something. And when I opened up the meeting request to accept the meeting, there was a gift card for Starbucks. Do you think I repeated going back to that person? Absolutely, I did. So wherever you can surprise and delight and create a wow experience for your client, they're going to come back. Yeah.
And then if I may, like I have a good I have an e-commerce business, and every year I send, during the holidays, a $5 gift card for Starbucks. Thank you for buying from me. So
Mhm.
looking forward for repeat, business for next year, and having that conversation. What do they need, or what do they want? So like that, I'll be able to, do my research, and I'm listening, so I know what the customers want and don't want. Because like that, I'm able to have the ideal products and be successful for the following year, and to continue to grow as well with coupons, with discounts. Who do you know that referral packages, to give everyone discount, just to have a sample of the products that I'm offering.
Yeah,
So,
that's fantastic.
and then can you suggest a CRM system?
Oh gosh, there are so many. I don't want to kind of tell you. It depends on the business that you are in, the type of industry that you are in. If you are on Squarespace or Spotify, again, I don't know if it's a product or a service business. They basically have where you pay a little bit of an extra fee and you're able to email and market to your clients, and you can have all their information in there. So it just depends on the type of business or industry that you are in. What you use as a consultant isn't something that you're going to use in regards to like a high velocity booking system. Like if you're cutting hair, or you are in a service-based business like that, or cosmetology, your nail appointments, you're not going to use the same type of system. So it's unique depending on your individual needs.
And then if you go into a virtual office, what advices can you share in order to maintain the efficiency of the team?
Oh, if you go remote?
Yeah.
That's my sweet spot. I spent 13 years managing a team of 200 people spread over all over North America. You can do it. You just want to be able to have those touch points. You want to be able to do fun activities. There's a whole strategy behind having a hybrid team. I don't know if there's, if you only go, completely remote. I had a fully remote team from Canada all the way down to Alabama. It is done. Staying in touch, text messages, having meetings where everyone is together. You can open up a Slack channel and you can like share different music, and you can have a pet cam where people are coming on camera with their pet. There's so many ways to engage a remote team. You don't have to be afraid in 2023 to go remote.
Yep. And then is there any other questions in the chat or in the Q&A? All right, let's see. Okay, I guess we're good. All right. So I put the link to register for consultation to meet with Rosalind and the rest of our business consultants. Once again, this is a recorded webinar. So once I receive the video file, I will be able to email you the presentation along with the obviously the video file. So you could follow up, and also if you're interested to meet with Rosalind or with any of our consultants, by all means, I'm an email or phone call away to connect you with anyone and everyone to assist your business needs and enhancing those strategies and analyzing the results of those results. And you're welcome. You're welcome. And okay, perfect. Yep, everyone loves it, Rosalind. So you see, it's all about bringing new folks into the team to have this exciting workshop. So this is a success. So definitely it's on the menu for future workshops. So it's it's practicing what you're preaching, in other words. And then Rosalind, do you have any final comments?
I just want to say, definitely talk with one of our consultants. You can be busy with a lot of sales activities and still not be effective. What we want you to do is not just work harder. We want you to work smarter, and we want to support you in that. So if at any point you're feeling overwhelmed, or you're like, I don't know, I know I need to build a strategy here or find something to do, work with us. We are waiting to hear from you.
Okay, perfect. And yes, I'm looking forward to connecting with you, and then afterwards we'll be able to take enhance the plan of action with the next consultants. All right. So thank you all for attending tonight's webinar. I'll be in communication with you with the next events, webinars that we have going on. By all means, we're family. Anything that we can do to assist you, don't hesitate. Give us a call, shoot me an email, and I'll be here to help you out. And Luby, do you have any final thoughts before we close? You could talk now. Nope, you're on mute. All right, so I think I could read lips. Louis says, thank you for all attending, and I'll be seeing you at our next event. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you soon.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.